Hey, how you doing there again, folks? Me again, of course, Brandon Wenzel. Come back at you, another offering off my sampler platter. Yes, indeed, folks, I'm playing video series videos I've been doing for a while now. I'll go over there, try out food and drink items. I eat stuff, I drink stuff. Then, folks, I'm going to talk about the stuff. I'm going to let you know all that you need to know about hopefully delicious stuff that time I'm doing this, folks. I'm not going to lie. I knew I was going to have to get to these, but here we is. But we'll get to that in a minute. Folks, it's a super simple format. I'm going to go over there. I'm going to try out food and or drink items for you. Whilst I'm doing so, I'm going to yammer on about it for a bit. Whilst I'm doing all that, I'm inside my truck. And whilst I'm doing that, I'm wearing a Grody work shirt. Typically, when I'm in the truck and I'm wearing a Grody work shirt, that means that I was on my way home from work and I found some shit to review for you. That is definitely the case today. So I got off of work and I was like, I'm going to go home. I got the day off. I'm going to go home. I'll play video games and hang out with my cat. Yeah. But I was like, shit, I need to go out and get supplies. Dick if it was, I couldn't even get most of the supplies I wanted to get. Because in every instance, it's one of the things I hate about the fact with like Walmart and stuff like that they don't have 24 hours, is that now they have to do a lot of stocking, during more active hours. And it's like, I go over there and it's like, I just wanted to go over there and get myself a couple big old jugs of Arizona tea. Oh wait, somebody spilled some shit and it's going to be a while they're cleaning it up. I don't have time to bother with that. Then I go over to the fucking cup of noodle thing because I like to, cheap, easy bullshit food. I go over there and there's people stocking stuff and I just don't have it in me socially to go over there and tell somebody, hey, could you please move for just a couple seconds so I could grab a few things. Don't have it in me right now. But what I did find, it's what I'm going to review for you. Well, folks, boom, it's Twix, but it's not just any Twix, because, oh god, it fell. Because we're actually reviewing, boom, it's a great value cookie and caramel bars. It's a great value. It's a knockoff Twix from Walmart. If you're not familiar, Great Value is Walmart's brand. I've already reviewed, because they have this, they have Kit Kats, and they also have Snickers. And I went over there, I've already reviewed their knockoff Snickers. And I just figured, what the fuck, man, let's just keep going with it. So we got the cookie caramel bars. Let's see if we can get a good thing. Ha ha ha! Ha 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 ha! Sure, for the thumbnail. And I'm going to do a comparison. So you're going to get a review and a comparison. Be interesting to see how this goes. The knockoff Snickers was pretty interesting, so go watch that review. But let's go ahead, let's take it out. Looks like this. I should mention, it is about half the price of a normal Twix. So, and you do get twice as many. So there's a value there to be had. Let's compare it against it and see if there's any discernible. Great value. Normal Twix. Looks similar. Twix on the bottom is a little bit less neat and tidy, but, And as far as the tops are concerned, I feel like the Great Value might be a little bit thinner, but not, like, by a substantial degree. So, let's try the Great Value one first, and let's go from there. It tastes like a Twix. Ooh, but it's a little bit different at the end. Let me hold off. Let me try a Twix now. A little bit more satisfying crunch with the proper Twix. Definitely has a more satisfying finish than the Great Value one. Great Value one has a little bit of an aftertaste. I feel like maybe the cookie is a little bit drier or more solid. I feel like the Twix breaks apart a little bit easier. I would say the biggest difference is the aftertaste, for sure. The Twix definitely has a better aftertaste. But it's not a terrible facsimile. Twix definitely has a better crunch. And it's a better follow through with the flavor. And definitely that aftertaste. Like the Twix aftertaste is really nice, something you look forward to. It's this culmination of all the things. And it's great. Whereas with the great value, I feel like it's the same thing. It's like the culmination of the flavors kind of, melding at the end. But I feel like the Twix is maybe just a little bit better quality. And so it's got a more satisfying and better finish. Final thing. Yeah. The aftertaste is definitely not great on the great value. It's not horrible, but it's the weakest part of it. Which is kind of a shame because the flavor up till that point is actually really solid. Like, point for point, it's hard to tell. It's just little things, really. The most noticeable aspect of it, if it didn't have the aftertaste, I honestly think that I could be convinced that it was a Twix. But the aftertaste gives it away, for sure. Because, the cookie crunch is a little bit better with the proper Twix, but it's not leagues better or anything. It's, it's just got, like I said, it breaks apart a little bit easier in your mouth. It's a little bit more satisfying. Whereas with the great value one, it's a little bit stiffer. But it's still a decent cookie crunch, it's doing everything that a Twix should do. But, again, I think it's just that, I'm guessing it's probably just, maybe the quality of the ingredients. I think Twix maybe a little bit better. And I think that when it gets to that final point in the eating, when everything is kind of finally starting to melt away and stuff, you get this nice little final, burst of cookie and caramel and everything, and it's really nice. Whereas with the great value, you're kind of getting that, but it's not as good, and it gives it away. So here's the thing. It's not a bad fucking effort, man. Seriously. And it is interesting because when I did the knockoff Snickers that they did, it honestly was very different from an actual Snickers. It wasn't a one-to-one. It was, even though it had basically the same components, it was very different in its overall flavor profile. With this, it's definitely a knockoff. It's definitely them trying to make a Twix. They could have done something a little bit extra with it to kind of, sort of have it be its own thing, but they didn't do that. They wanted this to be basically a Twix. And they do come close, but you can tell the difference. Now, all that said, two questions have to be asked. Would I get it again? Would I recommend it? Would I get it again? If I was feeling particularly cheap one day. If I was in a mood where maybe I just didn't want to go over there and buy a normal Twix, maybe I was a little bit lighter on funds. Because the thing is, it's not just whether or not, because it tasted fine. It was, okay. It has to be gauged on not only its own merits, but then on, is it something equivalent? And it's it kind of is. Yes, there's a distinction, but it's not a huge one. And if you are paying a little bit less, now I would still go for a proper Twix 99.9% of the time. There's a reason why Twix is so iconic. But there is that 0.1% where it's fuck it, man. And if I'm recommending it to somebody, it's yeah. Again, I don't think it's quite as good, but it's if we're talking margin of error between the two, 4%, not even 5%. It really is pretty damn close. And it's just a couple little things that give it away. And otherwise, it's, even with those things, it's still halfway decent. So, I'm going to give it, a little bit of a sign-off. Not full sign-off. I still think real Twix is better. But I think they did a pretty good job with this one. Anyway, 5 things before I get out of here. Have yourself a great rest of your day, spectacular rest of the week, monumental rest of the month, spend the rest of your folks. You can go over there and have yourselves a truly, surprisingly good knockoff-tastic rest of your life. Woo! I mean, sometimes knockoff things can be good too. I used to go over there. I used to buy, not regularly, but I used to go over there. I used to occasionally buy some bootleg DVDs, usually for foreign films that hadn't made their way over here yet or still haven't. And, it's like, yeah, okay, some of them were terrible because they were bootlegs and they were, not done properly. But other ones, you couldn't fucking tell the difference between, when they actually had a proper release. So sometimes bootlegs can be okay. Final 2 things, folks. Number 1, try to bring some positivity in the world. It's not always possible. It is, however, always appreciated. But what do you do if you can't do it all the time? I know I can't do it all the time. Here's what you do, folks. You're going to try not to be an asshole. Folks, it's not the easiest thing in the world to not be an asshole. Trust me, I know it. I live it. I'm out there with you in it. It can be frustrating and stressful and bullshit and blah. It's lame. It's important when we run into those situations. Take a step back. Try to mitigate the level of assholishness in our lives. Hopefully do better for ourselves and for those around us. Very final thing, folks. Do the thing. Whatever the thing is for you, that's what I want you to go out and do. Folks, maybe you're going to go over there. Maybe you're going to start living your own best knockoff life, right? Like, instead of maybe going over there and getting, like, that Gucci what the fuck everything that costs like $800,000 because marketing. And maybe you're going to go over there. Maybe you know somebody who knows somebody who, maybe some stuff falls off the back end of a truck sometimes. And yeah, maybe it's not real Gucci, but fucking, do you care? You're going to run into the head of Gucci and have them go over there and be like, this isn't our shit. And that's one of those things. Like, I'm typically all for going over there and making sure that people get paid properly and stuff like that. Like I said, when I would buy bootleg DVDs and stuff, I only did that when it was just the only real option I had available to me. Otherwise, I'll buy the official release because I want to support those people. But when it comes to stupidly high-end stuff like that, no, fuck those people. Like, they fucking probably make an entire year's worth of fucking revenue in, like, the first, 2 months of the year because of how jacked up their stuff is. So, go ahead. You have my utmost permission as King of the Universe to buy knockoff versions of that stuff completely guilt-free. And if you need me to go over there and represent you in court as King of the Universe, just understand that in most jurisdictions, the King of the Universe is not recognized as an official position yet. Or conversely, you can just get a Twix. It doesn't cost that much. Bye.